I'm Lindsay Smith with Real Agriculture in San Antonio, Texas at NCBA CattleCon. Joining me now is Kent Bacus. He's the Executive Director, Government Affairs for NCBA. Kent, how are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you.
Are you great, though? Have you slept in 3 weeks?
You know, that's like Canada. We have Texas polite down here, too. So, yeah, no, I have not slept much over the last few weeks because there's just a lot going on, not just on the trade front, but overall. We've got, new administration. We've got a president that is eager to set right a lot of wrongs and really just move a lot of things on the social front, on security, and with the economy as well. So it's been exciting to see a lot of things, but obviously with uncertainty, you get a lot of angst and anxiety that comes with that. We've certainly heard that from a lot of our trade partners who are curious, and all we can really say is, yeah, we're curious too. We're learning a lot of things, but the good thing is this is an administration that has made it pretty clear what they see as issues, and the biggest mystery sometimes is how they want to accomplish that. But they are transparent. They're for us as U.S. stakeholders, they are very accessible, and so that is kind of I think a breath of fresh air. And I know that's hard for folks at other places to understand, but we have had 4 years of dormant trade policy with an administration that didn't really listen to a lot of farmers and ranchers. So this is a good opportunity for us to engage our government and to and really make things better for the next generation. In order to do that, there's going to be a lot of changes, and there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. But it is an exciting time.
Do you worry a little bit about collateral damage when there's, if you're talking about a lot of change, the rate of change, how important is it that you're communicating what you would like to stay the same or to keep in place?
Well, I think we've been very clear with the administration, with the whole transition of, look, here are a lot of things we need the government to stop doing. A lot of the regulatory red tape, a lot of this, honestly, a lot of issue-driven initiatives that were making it very difficult for us, not just at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but in a lot of the agencies, especially the environmental side. There were a lot of things that they were trying to put on us that made it very tough. So that was the first message to the administration: is this is where we need you to stop. Stop a lot of these things from happening. And then here are opportunities. This is where we need your help engaging. And they've been very receptive to that. So, yes, with any new administration, there's a lot of unknowns. You have new players. You've got people that either haven't worked in those positions or, they're still getting their directives. But sometimes agriculture, we do get caught in the crossfire on this. And there's plenty of examples of that from what we saw in previous administrations. But one thing is clear, and that is that President Trump, while he uses tactics like tariffs to accomplish goals, he's very clear in remembering who he represents in trying to take care of them. So for us on the cattle side, if you look at China, that was a market we had been out of for a decade and a half. All right, and we were getting nowhere with previous administrations that were really trying to play nice with China. And then President Trump said, we're going to take a different approach. And it got the Chinese attention. And it brought them to the table, got them to really understand how we produce beef, to understand why they didn't need to have these restrictions. And guess what? We got access restored. And that's now a very productive market for us. Would that have happened eventually if we hadn't gone through this? Maybe. But clearly, the playbook that they had used for decades past wasn't working. So, yes, change creates opportunity. It also creates, sometimes there is collateral damage. But one thing's for sure for us, we are on a better trajectory now because of all of those changes that were implemented.
So that's China. What about Canada? So, I think it's a great example of changing tact. at least certainly on the beef sector side, I think most people would think that Canada is a partner in the U.S. industry. So how has your organization sort of tackled the last week, especially, with these Trump tariffs coming in now on pause?
Well, the good thing about Canadians is you're never going to deliver that blow when the ref's looking. You're gonna wait till he's looking away, and then there'll be a nice little pop in the back to remind him, hey, we don't like this. And that's definitely been relevant in many engagements with our Canadian friends over the last few weeks. Your frustrations are very clear, as are ours. I mean, we have a very good relationship with Canada. We have a very dynamic economy, and the cattle and beef trade is extremely robust and it's very efficient. Just the binational trade, the cross-border trade, the business relationships are very close, very, very much entwined. At the same time, it's tough because we are a great example of what free trade should look like. Our segment is. But there's a lot in agriculture that it doesn't reflect that. The relationships aren't there either. And so that makes it a little bit harder for those discussions. Well, for those of us who have great relationships with our Canadian counterparts, and we do see eye to eye on a lot of things, that makes it tough because we're not the problem. We work closely together. We are mutually beneficial. We find plenty of opportunities, and for Canada, the United States is 78% of your U.S. beef, 78% of your beef exports. The United States is a major market for Canada. You're a pretty significant export market for us too. We don't want to lose that on the beef side. When you look at cattle trade, we send a lot of cattle north from our East Coast states. We send a lot into Ontario to be fed out. We send a lot into Alberta as well. A lot of those cattle come back into the U.S. market. We have more processing capacity, but there's just so much of that cross-border trade, and that creates opportunities for every segment of the supply chain and both sides of the border. So anytime that's disrupted, we all feel it. So we certainly understand that. I'm glad that there is this 30-day pause. We'll see, hopefully we're able to find some longer-term agreements and more predictability. But I think if anything showed us is that even with the sudden threat of tariffs and potential disruptions, our relationships are still very strong. And clearly Canada is one of our strongest allies. We don't want to jeopardize that. But we do need our governments to work together. And hopefully over the next few months, we'll see them grow closer together. But we'll see. But for industry, look, we're profitable when we work together. We're not profitable when we're at each other's throats. And I think it's really a true testament over the last few days as we've really been pressed on this, that you saw industries really work together and come closer.
All right, Kent, thank you so much.
Thank you.